Hello everyone. Let me just turn down this music. All right, perfect. How are you doing? We're back to our regular Tuesday time, which makes it a bit easier for those who are used to Tuesdays. And I flip it and then they're like, hey, I missed it. But not to worry, if you miss it, there's always the replay. And the replay is up pretty much instantly, which is great. So it's always there. I did have a question about why the replay works. So I'm going to talk about this call a little bit because I don't give these calls enough introduction, I don't think. And that's probably because we've been doing them for over 3 years. We started on Zoom first and people had to register. And then we moved to YouTube Live. It is easier. There's no registrations required. And then it's uploaded directly to YouTube, which is really neat as well. So one change I made recently is that the chat box, which I do appreciate people chatting there, I don't always look, but I will look like before at certain times. But when I'm in the flow of talking, if I read the chat, I get thrown off a bit. So I'll read it when I can. But the chat right now, I'm looking at it because I'm just chatting. And, I love when people are talking to each other because there's the regulars and hello, everyone. There's our regulars on there. But I think sometimes if you want to chat and have, say, conversations within each other, it's all great, but I think I had a setting that was recording it, and on the replays you could read the chat. I believe I did take that off, so anything put on the chat is not going to be on replay, so it's just going to be this presentation and the healing and all that good stuff. So chat away and I will chime in when I can. And I will always ask, hey, is the music balance okay? I don't change it much, so I'm hoping that the levels are what they should be. So these healing calls are great if you're live, and then the big difference is we get to chat, we're all here at the same time live. But the beauty of energy work, and first off, it's working in by distance because there's nobody actually in my home when I'm doing this. Actually, that is not true. Today I have my mother, who's a live guest, who is in the other room laying on the couch, who just loves this energy. So she does them sometimes online when she's not here, but when I'm doing it live, she's like, oh, I'm going to hang out in the other room. So you don't have to be live. You don't have to be here physically. Because when you're dealing with energy work or dealing in the quantum field or the one field, and energy work doesn't know time or space. So the fact that you're joining live, let's say, but you're not in my vicinity, you could be across the world. When we're in that quantum field, we're actually in each other's space. So it's like we're in the same room. But then people will ask, but then how does that work when I'm watching it as a replay? Because there are some regulars that'll watch the replay over and then watch it again a few days later and then watch it, and they'll say, wow, I released something yet again, and I released something yet again. How does that work? Well, with energy work, there is no time or space. So the intention of you watching a recording is like being there in real time. So whatever is up for release during the time you're watching it, well, that's the time you were meant to watch it to release whatever's there. And remember, it is your higher self that is in charge of your healing. So if your higher self knows there's something coming up, and it could be many different things, it kind of creates a layer, and some of us know that feeling. They'll say, oh, Brenda, something's bubbling up or something's preparing or I'm getting anxious. You kind of get those feelings of preparation as you get into energy work. So you kind of get that feeling like, oh, and I'm going to watch the replay and then something released. And some people who are new to energy work will be like, what? Something released? What does that mean? It just means that some people are sensitive to the energies that are infusing, that love coming in. And some people are sensitive also to the denser energy, the unneeded energy that's releasing or dissolving or transmuting out of their system or out of their field. So the way I experience it is I will actually sometimes feeling like a weaving effect. Sometimes it's hot and cold where that light's coming in and then chasing out something that's not supposed to be there, let's say. So we all are these beautiful, magnificent human beings, but we have interference. And that's the duality of humanity, the shadow side and the light side. So as we're going through these healings, we're getting rid of that dense energy that's no longer serving you. And it can be a oh my God, it can be a bundle of various things, right? So it could be belief systems that no longer serve you, a trauma that happened, a belief system, like I just said that, like incidents where you felt controlled or betrayed, where you felt regret or shame. It could be something you saw on TV that really hurt you. It could be cultural beliefs. It could be, just society beliefs that don't serve you. So whatever's up for release, whether it's a belief system, a trauma, an experience. Sometimes our traumas are watching things as a child on the TV, whether it was the news or maybe a scary movie or something you shouldn't have watched as a child. So somebody hurt your feelings. It could be a sadness of losing a pet or a breakup or a parent or going through a divorce as a child or having a near drowning experience or a choking experience or being burned by accident, like car accident. Like there's so many experiences humanity goes through, right? So we hold that in our field. And you might have this phobia and you're not sure why you have it. Like, why am I so scared of water? Like, it doesn't make sense. I want to go to the water, but there's something that just won't let me. It could be a fear because of something happened in this lifetime, in a past life. So as you're healing, your higher self brings up layers. And it may not take out the entire event if it's a big one, but it can chip away. So during one layer, you might release 5% of this trauma, 2% of this one, 7% of that, 10% of that, 100% of this. So it's a mixed bag of what leaves. But the beautiful thing is, and we don't have to know what's leaving is things, dense energy that's no longer serving you. And your higher self knows what you're ready to release. So it creates this layer, you release it, you then have this beautiful light that comes in and kind of just rebalances your energy, fills your body more with light or your essence more with light. So your light quotient goes up, you feel lighter, you feel more at peace, it reduces stress, anxiety. Also, these healings promote healing on the physical level. Because it is our emotional state, our psychological imbalance that stops our physical healing. So really cool is a lot of people when they're sick or ill will jump to Reiki. And Reiki is beautiful, but if you are, let's say, sick and things like that, and things aren't working out in your body, and you're like maybe missing your period if you're a girl, or you have the onset of something pretty bad coming in, maybe you're just noticing like not Alzheimer's possibly, but arthritis coming in, or stiffness, or this or that. If you start just working on your psychological imbalance, something like beam therapy, where you're going to the subconscious mind to release those negative thought patterns, what you'll notice is that everything starts to heal. So your emotional state heals, your mental state heals, and then the physical body heals. So a lot of us, when our physical bodies start to present something, generally it is your body speaking to you that there is a core issue. Usually stress and anxiety, fear, worry will stop the healing process, and then things start to present. So if you start to really monitor your body and how is it acting, okay, I'm feeling more aches and pains, things aren't the same, I'm feeling more fatigue, this and that, really try something like meditation, try something like this, and then as these layers release, you're going to see everything just works better. So in these types of healings, there's a big general cleansing and clearing, and then it can be very specific to you. You're all being worked on individually, although we are working in a group. So the energy that comes through for these types of healings, I'm going to call it's like a Reiki plus energy. It's Reiki energy, but it's a lot of other things underlying it, but it's very specific to you. So you're in an octahedron of light, and your higher self is in control. And these beings of light work with your higher self to release whatever is ready and safe to release at that time. So anytime you do these types of healings, you're always going to feel better, more relaxed, more peaceful. Although for some, when they do these types of healings, and people have been here like on the chat, they've done these a lot of times, so they're used to that feeling. So someone who's new to these calls might feel some anxiety kind of piling up. And I'll get, oh, I tried to do your group healing call and I just couldn't do it. I felt so much anxiety. I just had to, it's just too intense. If you can breathe through that anxiety, worry, and know that you are completely protected by these beings of light that love you so much, and that the whole process is really being overseen by your higher self and you have nothing to worry about, that anxiety will lift, because that anxiety is coming from the shadow side, the dense energy, the unwanted energy has its own consciousness. It does not want to leave your field. It enjoys being there. It enjoys causing you worry and stress and depression and all that stuff. So it doesn't want to be pulled away or transmuted or just taken out of your field. So it might give you a sense of anxiety to stop. Breathe, connect to whatever you believe in, God, angels, the universe, source, whatever you want to call it. Say, I know I'm totally protected. My higher self's protecting me. I'm going to allow this. Go through the end, and you'll notice a peacefulness that comes over you, that you almost become addicted to this stuff, because as you release a layer and then you readjust to this new alignment and you're feeling more peace and more connected, it's like, oh, I want to feel this again, because that just becomes your new normal. Give it a few days and you're like, whoa, like some people say, wow, your office looks so colorful now. Like, how is this possible? Because some of the filters get pulled off, whatever. There's lots of interference that leaves. So at first it feels such new light feeling, but then it's just your new being. And then if you're like me, someone who just loves that feeling, you just get another layer released. Again, you just enjoy and based in that, and you keep going higher and higher. But with that going higher and higher, what you're doing is bringing in more light quotient into your body as you are releasing that shadow side of us. That's just a human thing, nothing to be embarrassed about. We all have it. Some people say, well, I don't think I really have a shadow side. And it's so cute when I hear people saying that. But it's not understanding what that is. But when you start to awaken and you start to really understand, there's a part of me that is negative. I'm hearing negative thoughts, and who's saying that? So when you start to meditate, if you try it even, what is that part of you that says, hey, why are you meditating? Go, you should be doing this and you should be doing that, and your busy mind takes over. Well, that is the part of you that doesn't want you to heal. But if you connect to that beautiful, magnificent being that you are, and you say, you know what, I used to talk to myself between the light and the dark and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to do this no matter how much internal resistance I get, no matter how many thoughts I get to do something else, I'm going to sit my butt down here and I'm going to try to meditate for 20 seconds. And yes, I started meditating at actually 15 seconds because my mind was so busy that I couldn't sit still. And for those who know me, I'm a pretty active person, but I was 20 times more active back in the day. I couldn't even sit down to have a conversation. I'd be pacing while on the phone. If I wasn't on the phone, my mind would be doing here. If I wasn't here, I'd be there. So just trying to quiet my mind for 15 seconds was a challenge. Now, I am where I am, and I'm able to quiet the mind, but it came with practice. And it's like going to the gym. You don't go and grab the biggest weights and start working out. You're going to hurt yourself. You're not going to be able to do it. So you want to give yourself increments of where you are starting to control your thoughts. So you have control of your thoughts, but you want to succeed. And I'm training my dog right now. I'm working with a trainer. And she said, when you're training this guy, you want him to succeed. So if he's never had training before, and I'm asking him to sit and stay, she says, have him stay for 2 seconds, because that's a big deal for him. And then reward him. And then work up to 4 seconds. And now he's staying for 2 minutes. So I've set him up for success. It's no different than when you're meditating, you want to set yourself up for success. So start with 15 seconds. And if you have to, start at 4 seconds. It doesn't matter. You have nothing to prove to anyone. You're doing this on your own personal time. So if 4 seconds is all you can do, great, at least you're doing it. But it's going to go up to 5 seconds, then 7, and then 10, and then 12. And a few years later, or maybe 1 month later, or maybe 6 months, because we're all very different, you might be able to meditate for 2-3 hours. But really, if you just aim for 15 minutes a day, that's beautiful. Because when you're in that flow, that meditation, that awareness, that's when you're going to see who the real powerhouse is inside. Because you're going to be consciously aware. So here are my thoughts. I'm consciously aware of what I'm saying right now. I'm actively talking. I'm listening to my body. Now, if a negative thought came in, it's not, but let's just say it did, and said, you're wasting your time, stop this recall and go do something else, I'd be like, no. Whoever just said that, which was my shadow side, I would say, that is false. I used to say, Archangel Michael, please come in and dissolve this thought. So I used to act like an antivirus or an anti-negative thought scanner. So I would be as in present moment as much as possible. It wasn't say I'd be perfect, but if a negative thought came in, I would catch it right away. If you catch a negative thought right away, just like give yourself a hand applause. Because if you don't, in 16 seconds, it's calling in a friend. Now you have 2 negative thoughts, and then you have 3. And then you lose awareness and you are somewhere regretting the past, worrying about the future. You've just lost your power and you've lost present moment. When you're in present moment, you allow the wellness of this beautiful universe to flow through you. It'll calm your mental state, your emotional state, and help with physical healing. So your body's talking to you. If it's ill, it's presenting something. There have been so many people that I've worked with that said their illness was the best blessing in disguise because it brought attention to areas of their life that needed to be fixed, needed to heal, needed to break a pattern. And it's interesting. We all have patterns of behavior. If you look at your life and you say, okay, you know what, this is a recurring pattern. This is a recurring pattern. Well, if you have a recurring pattern, let's say you go to a certain place all the time and you see friends or so-called friends that really piss you off for some reason, and they elect all these emotions inside. Well, if you're going to the same place, repeating the same behavior, okay, first off, you might not notice you're doing it. You might not notice that it's even a pattern, or you're not noticing that it's not even good for you, let's say. But when you start to notice that, you might say, hey, you know what? A pattern of behavior is only a pattern of behavior until I'm aware of it. Now it's a choice. So now I can choose to break the pattern. How does a pattern of thought happen? How does a pattern of cycles of behavior happen? They are going to continue happening until you change the behavior. Now, sometimes those behaviors are in our subconscious. They're learned behaviors from our parents, from our upbringing. So, a lot of people will say, oh, I'm just negative about everything. Well, where did that come from? Oh, my mother was the most negative person. She just was worried about everything. Anything was going to happen. So, it's a learned behavior. we can even go further than that, and we probably look down the family line. It's probably it's on their spiritual DNA. It's been running through generations that a lot of the females of this family suffer from high anxiety and worry because they worry about everything. And that could have stemmed from a very traumatic event that somebody went through in a lifetime that has propagated down the family line. But when you start to really see what makes you up, your thought patterns, then you start to look, when you get to this realization, you start to look at your family. Say, this is like a family thing. Then you start to look at your cousins and your siblings, and you're like, oh my goodness. Then you read books. I remember reading the first book, and I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm just a textbook case. How embarrassing is that? So there's textbooks on this type of stuff, human psychology, for reasons, because it is a human behavioral problem. We repeat the patterns that we're brought into, that we learn as young children. But the neat thing is, we learn them, we repeat them, but we're in this beautiful new energy where we can be aware of them and we can do the work to break them. And by breaking them, we actually break them from moving into our children. So we may have not, bypassed these problems or patterns of behavior, but we can do our best to break them for our future generations, right? So it's really, I think it's a cool thing that we have the power to do this. We have this beautiful new energy on Earth that is really propelling us forward for healing. So how do you heal? Well, you do calls like this. You meditate, you read affirmations. And once you start this stuff, once you start awakening, you're going to notice that there's synchronicities and coincidences, because someone who's awake and really starting to create their life will start to have really cool coincidences. Not everyone has coincidence and synchronicities. It's the people that are really working on themselves. And they'll say, oh my gosh, I started doing this work and now I met this person and then this happened and then I met that person and then a big shift happened. Well, when a big shift happens, you can almost like see all the breadcrumbs that happened before, all the people you met and the different situations that came about to bring you where you are today. Some people say, oh, I started seeing numbers. Now, I used to be like the biggest number girl. My angels would communicate so well with numbers, because once I saw a number, I just knew. I would just like read this, and I would read what it meant, and it was exactly the answer to the question I just asked. I'm like, wow, the other side, these beings of love that love us so much, our higher selves, are always speaking to us, but it's us that don't listen. So when you start to open up to the possibility that there might be more than just who I am, and just be open to that possibility, well, what you've just done is you've opened up a communication of these beautiful beings of light that love you so much, that are going to give you that next breadcrumb. So what you can do is start a dialogue. Now, some people say, what's a one-way dialogue? I'm talking all the time. Well, get into that quiet space and listen. Now, sometimes, I'm blessed to hear it in my head, but you can hear it in a song. Like, there's so many people that said, I asked a question, and then all of a sudden I heard this song twice in a row. And then when I listened to the words, my question was answered through the words. There's the repeating number sequences. That's another way. If you're going to do numbers, that communication, you always want to kind of use the same reference material. So I always say, okay, I'm using this reference material. So 458 in this reference material means this. It might mean something slightly different if I was using another site or a different book. So then, based on the reference material I'm using, they'll give me the correct number that matches where I'm going to read it from, giving me the answer that I needed at that point. Also, You might ask a question and some people will feel like they're being hugged, like, yes, you're on the right track. Sometimes it's different. Sometimes it's a person, and sometimes it's our children, our wise children that we don't want to listen to, or our wise spouse that we don't want to listen to, that will give us that message that we needed to hear. And if you're someone who was, I'm not going to say I'm not anymore, but I'm better, but if I was that person who was very stubborn, and I know I frustrated a lot of people along the way because they would give me this great advice, and then I'd hear great advice again, and then great advice, and it would not sink in. And then somebody else for the 10th time would give me the same advice, and for some reason I heard it. It wasn't because of that person, it's because the 9 people before that person chipped away at my resistance. So finally, when it was told to me by the 10th person, I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. And then you go tell the other 9 people, guess what I figured out? And they look at you like you're from outer space, like I told you that like 6 months ago. And I can now see the frustration I caused so many people because I had so much resistance of being kind to myself and doing what's right for me. So if you're in that situation, you can wake up every morning and say an affirmation. May I be able to hear the wise words of others. May I be open to change. May I be open to realize what's best for me, because that will help peel away some of that resistance, keeping you in the receiving mode. Another thing is sometimes we believe that we know it all, and then we'll stop listening. Or more like someone trying to give you great advice, and what you're doing, or what anyone can do, is start formulating the answer, so we're no longer listening. So when I find myself, well, I don't do it so much anymore, but I used to do it a lot, because I'd be formulating this answer because how dare this person think they know what my problem is. I want to formulate this. I didn't even listen to their words of advice. Instead, I was distracted, and then so I had something to say back. So having that moment to pause, if someone's talking to you and you're actively listening, and having that silent moment, which I used to feel was very uncomfortable, it's okay to be silent, because all that means is I listened when you spoke. Now that you're done speaking, I'm formulating my answer or response. You know, there's a lot of power in the silence between words, and it's okay to have silence between words. And I am a talker. I love talking, and I do sometimes get very excited, or I have this like download that I want to share, and my excitement can still cut off people when they're talking, but I always feel like if I don't tell them, I'm going to lose it. But still, what I should be doing is actively listening, let them finish. And if I lost the information, if it was that important, I'm sure it's going to come back another way. So try practicing active listening with a spouse, with those people at work that trigger you, with that teenager child who, wants to be right. Actively listen. And another great tip is when you're going or having a conversation and someone's really getting agitated with you, because some people, like, everyone's a little bit agitated nowadays. They have their good days, bad days. Just look at them and say, I understand. It's a very powerful reply, because what do people want? They want to be heard, they want to be understood. So instead of saying, yeah, but this can happen, just say, I understand. It can dissolve any argument pretty easily. And then some people say, well, but say if you don't understand. Well, you can say, I'm trying to understand. Can you put it in a different way so I can hear it? But you're not kind of going back trying to say what their belief system is or what their opinion. You're not making them sound like they don't matter. You're letting them express themselves. Now, everyone can have their own opinion. It doesn't mean it has to be my opinion. And if someone's really going at me with an opinion I don't agree with, I just inside my heart say access denied, permission denied, that is not coming into my system. And then I'll say, I understand your viewpoint, but I resonate with this. They can't fight me. I resonate with something else. I didn't say they're wrong. I didn't say I'm right. You have your opinion, I have my opinion, and that is perfectly fine, because in this huge, beautiful planet with all these different people, we're not all going to be the same. If we were the same, it would be very boring, wouldn't it? So everyone has the right for their beliefs, for what they like to do, what they do. As long as they're not hurting anyone, so what? Let them eat, peanut butter with banana, with potato chips. Does that really bother you? Just because you don't like it? Who cares? And if we really just let people be and just accept them for who they are, there'll be a lot less arguments in just even the household or in the workplace. And peace really starts from within, and the home, and then the neighbors, and it gets bigger and bigger. How are we going to have world peace when we can't even have peace within? So it's finding that peace within. It's being kind to yourself as you're going through this healing journey. You're going to try to put yourself first, which is, I know people say, oh, that's a very hard thing to do. I get it. But try something new every day to put yourself first, even if it's, I'm going to take 10 seconds to try my best at quieting my mind and doing a meditation. 10 seconds, maybe 4 times a day. And then maybe the next day you might try longer. So you're slowly building up to more quiet time for yourself, more self-love for yourself, more working on yourself, and say, hey, I cater to everyone all day. I'm going to cater to this magnificent being, which is me. Look in the mirror and say, I love you so much. Look in your eyes, talk to your soul. Start that communication. You're never alone. Somebody would say, oh, I felt so lonely today. Use that time to talk to your higher self and these beautiful guides that love you. See if you connect to them. Another thing that I've started practicing this more recently, I never wait for anyone, because I'm never waiting. So if I'm waiting, let's say someone says someone's late 10 minutes, well, I have so many things. I'm saying affirmations in my head. I'm having conversations. I'm, talking to my body. And they say, oh, sorry to keep you waiting. No problem at all. I use that 10 minutes to work with me. Actually, I enjoy that they were late, because I got extra 10 minutes of my day to work on myself. So I'm never waiting for anyone, because I'm always filling that time with something about self-love from me. So you're in traffic, you're listening to an audiobook, a podcast, something uplifting, dancing to music. That's your time. So traffic is a great time. I love traffic. I don't even see traffic that much, but when I'm in it, I'm okay, because what I do is I send love, I'm dancing, I'm doing my thing, I'm listening to an audiobook. I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I here so quick? I want another 5 minutes for myself. And when you're in that high vibe doing your thing, what you're going to notice is the people around you in traffic are all smiling back at you. So it's pretty fun. You can use any opportunity, any second of the day, to work on yourself, to send peace to this world and send peace to others around you. So let's get on it. Let's start with the healing session, which is going to allow, which is already starting, this beautiful energy to come through. And last week's session was extremely intense. A lot of people came in and just said, whoa, what was that? I was buzzing afterwards for a while. I couldn't sleep. Actually, the energy was just flowing through. So I know our healing sessions are getting more powerful, and it's the addition of all of our energy. So we're going to start with a personal healing at the physical, mental, and emotional level. You can either be laying down or sitting down. You can have your eyes open or eyes closed. There's no right or wrong. If you doze off, and a lot of people just doze off and I don't even know where I went, that's okay, because you don't have to listen to the words. You don't have to listen to the music. It's the energy that is working with you to clear away what you no longer need. All right? And I think that's it. I'm going to drink some water. You may want to have some water beside you. There's nothing you need to do to enjoy this energy. If you're new, the one thing that I would suggest you do, we don't have to, is just talk to whomever you believe and set an intention. I'm ready to receive whatever healing is best for me at this time. And that's usually physical, mental, and emotional. But if you do have something that is not going right in your life, relationships, maybe an illness, emotional state you're in, you can ask for some extra love in that department. But you can just say it generally, like whatever I need today. But you can be specific if you have an intention to bring to the forefront. Okay, so we are going to start the music. And again, I always ask, is the music balanced? Just because I want to make sure you can hear my voice and the music. And I don't want you straining, because when I listen back and I don't hear the music, I love the music. So I'm just like, oh, the music's not loud enough, or I'm too loud, or I'm not loud enough. So there's that nice balance, And so if you guys like the balance, let me know. It's kind of hard to know it from this side. So I'm going to start it right now. I'm going to drink some water in the meantime as I wait to hear back on the feedback. So right now the music is on. I'm talking. Is there a good balance here? And hopefully that is. I just turned up my volume, so now check it. Sorry, making sure everything's okay. And I'm gonna just drink some water as I look at the chat. And if it's too loud, seems a bit loud from my end, let me know. The music, that is. Okay, so it looks like we're good. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Perfect. Okay then, we're going to start. We are going to start with this healing today. And although I've been feeling the energy come in for some time already, causing a little bit of dizziness, I'm just going to breathe through that, because the energy on this planet of love is so intense. This love and light is here just for you. So you're in this beautiful octahedron of love, your own beautiful healing is starting to take place. You're just going to relax. You're going to allow deep breaths in any way that you're comfortable. Allowing deep breaths, letting that tummy expand, and then allowing that energy to just exhale and kind of bringing your tummy in. And you're going to get a nice rhythm that you're comfortable with. And this energy now is just going to start infusing. It's like a weaving through. It's master light, it's loving light. It is this beautiful, powerful energy that loves you unconditionally. And it knows exactly what you need. And it loves you. And it's working with your higher self that loves you. The amount of love that flows through in these calls is unmeasurable. It's not anything that we feel between two human beings. It's like the love of 70 mothers. It's beautiful, it's strong, and it's always being sent to you for your highest best. As it's weaving through, some people start to feel emotional. And that's just because we hold so much stagnant energy, sad energy, traumatic energy, depressed energy, energy of lower vibrations that needs to leave your field. A lot of us have to be strong, and although something bad happens, we don't deal with it, and those emotions get trapped, and then we have a healing like this, which sets them free. And some of us feel those old emotions. Some of us have those old memories, and you can feel like they're leaving like a dream. Just acknowledge the feelings. Just acknowledge what's coming up. And saying, I get it. I'm releasing you. I no longer need it. So it's leaving your field. Whether it's transmuting, dissolving, it doesn't matter. It's leaving your field. And you're being replaced with this beautiful love. Just infused with it. Infused with it. And it's touching every cell of your body. You're just going to allow that healing to continue and just be with the emotions. At this point, this is where some people might be feeling a bit of anxiety. Just breathe through it. You're completely loved and protected. Whatever's happening right now is for your highest good. Your light quotient is going to increase. The peace within you is going to get stronger. And if you feel emotions coming up and you feel like you want to cry, just let that emotion go. Just let it out. Just let it out. You're going to feel so much lighter after this. And for some are feeling tingling sensation and warmth. We all heal differently. We all feel differently during these sessions. And some people don't feel a thing, but they are healing just like the rest of us. There's so much happening in your quantum field. You just might not be sensitive enough at this point to feel it. I was once like that. They used to say there's so much happening in your quantum field, just allow it. Just be with it. We're asking for negative thought patterns to dissipate and be replaced with positive thoughts. You are magnificent. You are worthy. You are beautiful. And you might be drifting off into a meditative state. Perhaps you're sleeping. It doesn't matter. You don't have to listen to the music or my voice. That energy is coming through regardless. And it loves you so much. You're getting the healing that is exactly what you need tonight. Or whenever you replay this. It doesn't matter. Whenever you hear this, it's the right time for you. During all these meditations, we have the balancing of the chakras, the cleansing of the chakras, the meridian systems are being unknotted. Your auric field and biofield are being cleansed from any interference. You might have this warmth weaving through your essence. And as this healing continues, we are now going to set the intentions for anybody that we might be worried about or we think could use a healing tonight. So you can make those special intentions in your head or out loud. And just know that this energy will be made available to those people, places, animals, whatever you're sending it to. But again, it's up to their higher self to accept the energy, but it will be made available to them at this time. You don't have to say what's wrong or why you're worried. This is intelligent energy. It knows exactly what the person needs at this time. Or the pets or anything that you're worried about. And then just let go of your worries. Worries are non-serving. Always see the ones that you have concern about in their highest state. See them thriving, see them happy, see them healthy. That energy you put out there draws them into a better, positive place. Propel them into that really good, happy, healthy place. You are powerful. Your thoughts are powerful. So add positive energy to everyone and everything. And some of you might be yawning right now, just processing of energy. Just yawn all you need. If tears are flowing, just allow them to flow. This is all part of the healing process for some. We're all very different. There's no right or wrong. And as your healing continues, we are now asking, intending this beautiful, intelligent energy to weave into your homes, releasing any dense energy and replacing it with God's love and light. And as it's weaving through your home, it is being made available to anyone in your home, whether they're watching the call or not, it doesn't matter. To the pets in your home, whether they're in the room or not. This energy is available to them. It's up to their higher self to take it and use it. This beautiful master light energy is weaving through your home. It's weaving through your essence. It's being made available to everyone in your home. Your house is getting lighter feeling and lighter feeling and lighter feeling. And all that negative energy is being replaced by positive energy. And at this point, you might notice your pets are knocked out, just basting in the energy. They're very open and they accumulate so much from our sadness and arguments. We're just going to clear their fields, refreshing them and bringing them to their true essence as well. You might notice a peacefulness within, a calmness, a knowing that you are completely safe and loved. Knowing you are worthy and deserving of this healing because you are a magnificent being of light. And your birthright is one of abundance and love and health and joy and happiness. Just allowing all that goodness to come in. Every cell of your body is vibrating higher and higher, allowing your innate smart system, your immune system to kick into full gear. And allow a powerful, miraculous healing tonight. Because you are deserving, you are loved. And now your healing continues. Your family healing continues. Your home is still being cleansed, and we're going to open this up to all of humanity and planet Earth and all of our beautiful energy and these beings of light are coming together in this beautiful, powerful beam of light. And you can just imagine how beautiful and strong this could possibly be. We can't even imagine, because this beam of light is now going to weave into the earth and out and all around as it touches every human being on this planet. It's going into the air and the water systems and the landscapes and the hearts of humanity. And the light's starting and it's creeping and it's moving and it's flowing and it's expanding. And you can almost imagine it's just wrapped around Mother Earth, but it's also weaving through. It's going to the lightest parts of this planet and the darkest parts of this planet, illuminating love and peace. And we're all part of this healing today. As we're healing, our families are healing, our friends are healing, our pets are healing, our homes are healing. Planet Earth, Mother Earth is healing. The hearts of so many are feeling peace at this time. No matter what their situation, we want them to know they are loved. And they can always go back home to unity. We say yes to unity. We say yes to the ascension process. We say yes to coming home. We're releasing, dissolving, no longer needed, this separation. Our hearts are singing for compassion and patience and forgiveness. We're asking for confidence, for self-esteem, for self-love and self-respect, for peace within, because it starts from peace within and it radiates out. There's this beautiful wave that's just continuing to weave through our planet, touching the hearts of all of humanity, the animals on this planet, the marine life, plants. Everything has a consciousness, and we're just bathing it in this beautiful, powerful light. Allowing peace to weave through the hearts, individuals and collectives, and to Mother Earth. We're all in this together. As Mother Earth heals, we heal. And as we heal, Mother Earth heals. This energy is so intense. You might feel it pulsating through your body, vibrating, tingling, whatever it is, just allow it to continue. There is so much love here. You can feel it weaving through. And the beautiful thing is this beautiful energy, this healing light, is going to continue for days within your system. And also be made available to all those beautiful souls that were touched today in allowance of this energy. And we can imagine that this beautiful beam of light will stay around Mother Earth, continuing to weave and heal. And now our intention is we're going to send this out to the multiverse, the universe, to the beings of light that are helping with this healing. We're all in this together, sharing the love, feeling the love. Your magnificence is known. You are known. You're going to use your personal power for the good of yourself and this planet. And the words that you say, and the actions that you do, and the thoughts you think, they all have power. And this reconnection to who you truly are is going to make it easy to wake up in the morning and say, I got this day. Ease and flow is happening in my life. Everything's working out for me. I'm so blessed. There's so much peace within. I'm radiating that peace and love outwardly to everyone I come in contact with. You are a light holder. For those who can't hold the light, hold your light as strong as possible every time, every minute of the day. And as this beautiful energy continues, we're going to slowly take this meditation to an end. We've slightly gone over, but the intensity just did not want to stop. It's going to stay with you for days to come, so I want you drinking lots of water. That's your only homework. Drink lots of water. Allow those toxins to be released from your system. Breathing in that love, holding that love. We're just closing the music, just allowing that energy to do what it needs to do. Whew. Very intense session. If you want to stay in this meditation, you may do so by simply hanging up and staying in that beautiful feeling. Because I know sometimes I don't want to come out of it. For those of you who wish to stay on the call, I know we're a bit over. I'm just going to use the sound bowl to bring vibrational medicine, vibrational healing. It may not sound perfectly through the speakers, but it works exactly the same. And it helps us process quicker, brings us back to grounding. Also has such beautiful healing qualities on its own. So beautiful. Wow, very intense today. I almost don't want to come out of this, but if I continue, I'm just going to be here till 10:30. Wow, beautiful. Okay, so I have the bowl here. Great. So the healing has come to an end, but it does not come to an end. That energy is very intense today. I'm still buzzing from it. If you want to come back to grounding, you may want to stand up and stomp your feet, drink some water. That'll help you ground back. Because of that intensity, some of us might be feeling very flighty. That's all well and good. Not to worry about it. There's nothing wrong if you're still feeling dizzy. That was just very intense. So beautiful. Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you next Tuesday. And again, thank you for attending, because your energy really helps in creating such a beautiful healing for ourselves, for our fellow human beings, for the planet, the universe, and so forth. Whether you're watching this live or watching in the future, your energy is already included, because these beings of light already know who's going to watch this in the future years to come. So everyone, have a good night. Thank you again. And thank you, everyone. I read the chat today, and everyone's off to bed, it looks like. So, nighty night. Good night.